Do you guys foresee some kind of, in the final stretch to the campaign, some kind of thing breaking that could potentially harm the leader in the race so far, Mike Dunleavy?
Certainly. I mean, October surprise can mean any number of things. There is going to be an October surprise no matter what. It's either going to be something that surprises people and gives them information they didn't have and that changes how they feel about a particular candidate. And then you're wondering, where do those votes go, which is Ivan's province. But then on a more subtle level, an October surprise is also the nature of the messaging that people roll out that might have a greater impact on voters, where you know, suddenly you get a message from one candidate that just resonates with a public that is very fluid.
Right. Well, if there is an October surprise and it hurts Mike Dunleavy, who will the voters gravitate towards?
I agree with Art. It's going to happen. In fact, I've been hearing from the beginning, and I have no idea what's being referenced here, that something's out there and in the can, but I don't know. So we'll see in the fullness of time. You know, the interesting thing, the latest results we had, Dunlevy's on 46%, and then Walker's on 27%, and Begich is on 22%. And all it takes is for 10% of Dunlevy's vote to be shaken off by something that happens. And all of a sudden, he's down into the 30s, and there's a realistic chance of it not kind of being a Dunleavy win. And one of the interesting things about where the vote goes when it falls off of Dunleavy is that it's actually Bill Walker. You'd think that diametrically opposed Mark Begich wouldn't get much of the Dunleavy vote, but it's actually Walker who's got the bigger negative rating. A lot of it undoubtedly PFD related amongst Dunleavy's supporters.
But you know, Dunleavy could have a surprise of his own, perhaps, because Republicans are well known towards the end of the campaign to kind of have this big finale. They'll bring some big Republican celebrity out to do a great big sort of final campaign push for them. Do you foresee Mike Dunleavy being able to maybe bring out a Mike Pence?
Well, the other thing we didn't talk about is the whole new ball game in politics is exemplified by what Obama did in getting reelected. His own pollster told him, you can't get reelected. The people who are likely to vote are not going to vote for you. And Obama said, what do we do? And he said, well, we need to create 1.2 million new voters. And he went out and he created 1.7 million new voters, 300 to 360,000 in each of the new battleground states. So voter identification and turnout is really the new ballgame, and that happens under the radar. So if somebody was effectively doing that, a lot of that might not even show up in a poll. It didn't in 2012. The Romney people's jaws hit the floor. They didn't think they were going to lose, and they did, because these were people who weren't showing up in their polling. They were new voters. Well, if somebody's done that in the Dunleavy camp or in a Begich camp or in a Walker camp, that plays a big role in what that final total is going to be, is who turns out.